Hello and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. Happy New Year. This is our first episode of the new year.
It is. It feels weird to be, talking so much about the new year because we're recording a week before Christmas.
We're recording. Time of recording to, we want to be honest on this podcast. Exactly. This is a podcast of honesty. Time of recording is the Wednesday before Christmas, which... Yes. We taped yesterday, and that was our between Christmas and New Year's episode, and today it's again the same theme of it's that party hardy holiday time. I went to a Hanukkah party last night.
I had a lot of FOMO. It looked very fun.
You were invited.
The videos looked incredible.
Ice luge, caviar, latkes.
I know. I was debating with myself and with Mike if we should go.
Yeah.
Because I got back from Australia the night before.
And you saw fans.
Oh, yes. And I saw fans, and I'll tell that story. And we were debating going to the Hanukkah party. And then I wound up falling asleep at 9:30. So it was probably good that I didn't go.
Right.
I was like, it's in Brooklyn. I don't know if I can it's once we're there, I would have gone, I feel like, if I could have just popped in.
Right. It wasn't a pop-in.
It was too far to be popping in.
Because it would take 10, the hellos took 10 minutes. And then the goodbyes took 10 minutes. By that, that's 20 minutes right there. So it's...
Bless you. Bless you.
Oh my God, everything just happened at once.
We all got COVID.
Sorry.
Jared gave us COVID for Christmas.
Sorry, we all died. Don't tell this at our funeral. But it's not, and then you got to do the luge, and you got to, this is Brandon.
You got to do I saw that luge. I was like, if I were there, I would be too into the luge.
Yeah, maybe the sneezes are from sharing an ice luge with 20 other people last night.
Yeah, it's funny because at weddings they used to have them, and then now if you went to a wedding in 2019 and there was an ice luge, it was incredible.
Right.
It was really I feel turned the party up. And then I've been to weddings in 2021. And then they still have the luge, but it goes into a cup, and then you just drink it.
Oh, get out of here! Let's not do it.
What's the point?
Right. At this point,
it's unexciting.
Right. If I can't put my lips up against that ice,
exactly, that's the whole point.
Right. I want to feel like I'm on spring break 2007.
Drink it like a cappuccino into the shot glass. It's then you could just pour the shot.
Right. There's a point where it's let me be adult with adult things. Let me be a kid with kid things. We did talk about this. A friend of mine today, the post game talk was an ice luge is so unnecessary. But it just becomes a merry-go-round. You do the thing a couple times, so it amps things up. You're I'm in a party with this tool. You get the same
really
effect from a dizzy bat,
or a keg. Yeah,
a keg turns things up. People get wild for a keg.
They do. I haven't seen a keg in a bit.
It's been a long time.
But I did, on my trip, I did have 2 amazing fan interactions, which were amazing in their own way. I'll give you them both.
Okay.
So first, I was in the United Lounge. Shout out to United.
Wow.
Pretty good lounge.
We are a podcast divided.
I'm sorry. I might be turned.
Yeah.
I might be turned. I was in the United Lounge, and I got spotted probably in the most embarrassing. It's always when they say when you look like shit, you run into an ex.
Right.
For me, it's that's also when I run into anyone who knows me. It's I'm in my most comfortable jammies to get on this 13-hour flight to Brisbane, and I'm going for it at the lounge,
Right. Let's fill up.
As you do.
Yeah.
So I have the cream of lobster soup in one hand. I see pickles. There's one left. I just pick it up.
Yeah.
So I'm eating the pickle. I can't even wait till I get back to the seat. I'm eating the pickle. I'm holding the cream of lobster soup.
Everyone loves a lobster at the airport.
Biscuit.
A cream.
That's exactly.
Real good pre-flight food. Creamy, biscuity lobster.
I was going for it.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation.
Stomach be damned.
Yes. And that's when, and then this woman comes up to me, and I thought she's going to be you can't pick up the pickles with your hands. But
here's a cup for your pickle. Also, you can use it for the ice luge.
But instead, she goes, you're not. No, it couldn't be. It's not you. I'm and in my head, I'm it's me. it's definitely because no one,
right?
She knows.
You saw the look of I know
she goes,
you.
I've been listening. I was just listening to I'm like, I'm Jordana. So nice to meet you.
It is
like the perfect storm of looking like a lunatic when someone's going to run into you. Like she's going to have a fun story to tell someone about what I'm actually like in person, which is like looking like a crazy person, eating the pickles. Can't even wait to get back to her
from the buffet.
From the buffet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jordana doesn't use the tongs.
Exactly. Spread the word.
Right.
I mean, if anyone heard the episode, I've already said I'm a disgusting,
It's
so I have
okay.
nothing to hide.
No, there's nothing to hide. That happens all the time, though. Someone comes up to you and you're like, and it's the nicest compliment in the world. Like it's
incredible. It's so nice to hear
because we're not, famous people. That's insane. But
so far from famous that any approach by anyone who recognized me is in any place or time is extremely flattering.
Right.
There's no time that's inappropriate to me.
Let me also just say, there's no time. You can wake me up out of my chair in the flight. Let me just say, it's also okay to say nice things. I had a woman, she came out to me and she goes, "Oh my God, we're fangirling. I don't want to, and then she immediately goes, "But you probably love this." And I'm like, "You love this, you bitch. Yeah, you probably go home and fucking masturbate to this interaction, you piece of shit. You probably get off to this shit." Like, I was like, just leave it. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. That's
right.
all you needed to say.
Hey, love your stuff. Hey, thank you.
Well, I hadn't even.
That's it. Game over.
So that was my first interaction. The second sighting was in Sydney.
Wow.
At the Sydney Opera House, there's a bar that Sammy really wanted to go to.
Okay.
It's called like the Opera House Bar. Very creative.
The
Not
O-Bar.
touristy at all.
No, I'm sure.
Not touristy.
This is like going to Guy Fieri's in Times Square.
Basically,
yeah.
And so this place is so crowded because it's like outdoor seating by the view of the Sydney Opera House. And we're trying to find a table. You have to find, and there's like no tables. And I'm like texting, like we're like divide and conquer. So I text her, I'm like, I found a table. There's no chairs, but like if we can find chairs, we can use this table.
Right.
And so I'm just waiting there, like hoping she'll like see it and bring over chairs. And she doesn't. And then this woman comes up to me and she's like, "Are you Jordana? Like I'm like a big fan of the podcast."
Come on.
And it was she was on her honeymoon. It was so nice. And,
Come on.
But the best part of this interaction was she goes, "Do you need a table? We're about to get up."
Whoa. Here's your with benefits subscription, ma'am.
Seriously. I was like, "Oh my, this is the best of all worlds." Someone who I'm flattered by the interaction and I get the table.
Of course.
That was like
the only reason to be recognizable is to get tables at places and free tickets and all the trinkets that go with it. Yeah. I've had moments where I remember one time I was on, first of all, it happened the other day. The problem with, I don't understand how like a real celebrity farts.
Privately.
Well, I was on privately. What am I, an animal? So I was on a Delta flight once. I was so hungover, and I was just in the seat. And I remember I farted directly.
Was it loud?
It was a rumble, but I did directly into the seat. That's my move. You go into the seat, and it just and it was long. And I just look up, and this woman is turned.
Are you Cherry?
She just turns in her chair. She goes, "Hi. Love the podcast." And I had just farted face on. Like you could, I'm just like, "Hey."
Holding your breath.
And then it happened yesterday. I was at the Elk, the coffee shop in the West Village, very she coffee spot. Ooh. And I'm in there, they have a lean-to, they have the covered area if you want to have a coffee outside. Great in the summer. In the winter, they have heated lamps, but it's pretty cold out there. But I was the only one out there. I had just farted the loudest I've ever farted in public. And then all of a sudden, this girl comes up and she goes, "I'm listening right now." And I'm like, "To what?"
Oh, you're farting. Hopefully, there are some fans who are followers who are maybe gastroenterologists who might be able to approach you with some tips.
I've been drinking a lot. It's the week between. There's a lot of weird foods. There's lobster bisque everywhere on street corners.
You could trade a benefits episode for a colonoscopy.
Something. Check me out. Something's going on. It's just the drinking and the eating. It's all this time of year. I got a beard going. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. I'm grizzled. I need to get down to Boca and recharge, I think. But I'm enjoying.
And
I'm
you're
having a good
going
time.
soon, right?
I'm going on Sunday. I'm going to go stay there before I go to San Diego, which I've already left. So
You're
it's
already
not,
gone.
I'm
Too late
already
for them.
gone. Too late, San Diego. See you in a couple years. Houston and Dallas this weekend. Toronto, there's still tickets for the 4th show. And then I'm going to be in, if you're listening right now, I'm coming to Europe. So jaredfree.com for the Europe special. And
Road trip.
Road
Not
trip.
really. Or
Well,
not-
boat trip.
What was that movie? Euro
Trip.
Euro trip. That sounds right. More accurate.
Right. Yeah, I'm coming across. Indianapolis just added, so jaredfree.com for tickies. Anything else going on? I mean, like, the dating world right now, I mentioned it. I think January, you get into that sober January.
I wonder, do you see a lot of new people on the apps like you would at the gym?
Oh, right. I would
Like,
assume that
this
happens.
is my year. I remember I've had some friends who were like, oh, it's January. Like, I'm going to like really put myself out there.
Right. This is
now.
this is the time of year I get the saddest messages about dating.
Why? Because it's like, I think it's because people are reflecting,
Right.
I imagine, on like their year past. And they're like, I want next year, I want the New Year's kiss.
I want that kiss.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it. And then you're like, the difference between the gym and dating as like a resolution is the gym you can go to. You
have
can
more
feel like you're
control.
moving
Yeah.
forward. You can go, hit the lats, hit the buys, tries. Dating, you're like, I'm in. Open up that app. Here we go. And then there's no events. Everyone's hibernating in January. Like everyone's gone away. Your friends that are like, let's get drinks during the holidays. They're like, I'm not really doing drinks right now. So it's hard to get out of the house.
That's why I think the apps are great for January.
Right.
Delete the apps in December, re-download in January
I
because
should have went that way.
there's less places, I think, to meet people just out and about in January than there are in
I
December.
saw something on the Betches account that I loved. They had a holiday party where every woman there invited a guy from Tinder for their first date.
Oh, wow.
To
great.
To go to the party, you had to bring a guy that you met on Tinder. Love that. I mean, I
a
don't
great
think
January
you need
event.
Right. I don't think you need the holidays for an event like that. I think you can say, hey, we're doing a pregame. Entrance to the pregame is bring someone that you found on Hinge or Bumble or Tinder or whatever it is. I think that would be like
I feel like I would be into attending that if someone asked me.
right. Hey, tonight I have 6 friends. Every friend is bringing someone they met on the apps. You seem like a nice person. Would you like to come?
And the beauty is, if you don't hit it off with them, there's a bunch of other single people.
Right. And and also the community protects. You're with your 5 other friends
Yes.
who can watch over you. They get to get this guy's vibe or woman's vibe and kind of say, oh, I like them or I don't like them.
I like them, I don't, yeah.
Listen, we come with creativity here at
Exactly.
this podcast. Anything else going on? We got
What do we got? We got oversharing. We got You Up with benefits. Get your You Up crew.
the crew neck comes in handy. I wear that out on the rom-com field when I work out. Warm.
Great,
Good,
warm.
Good workout sweatshirt.
Good way to let the people, anyone who wants to approach you, know that you are in fact
Hey,
who
it is
you are.
me.
Yes,
Hey, it's the sweatshirt.
it's me.
I'm
Get
the
your-
guy.
And if you saw someone wearing that sweatshirt, I feel
Hey,
like
I would
you
say
might get
something.
approached yourself.
Right. You want me to come up to you?
Buy the
Hey.
sweatshirt, wear it to Rom-Com Field.
Right. And I'll look at you. I'll go, I just farted.
And then you'll know that'll be the true New York You Up experience.
that's
they
right.
they should put that on the attractions list on
Right.
Condé Nast Traveler.
What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about if that whole cute if you're into it, creepy if you're not thing. Okay.
This is. Can I just
some
start?
TikTok. We're getting into some TikTok trends.
Well, it's not even. TikTok gets me so annoyed sometimes. It's just like, yeah, people have been saying this for years, and then one person on TikTok is like, you know what I think?
They like to pretend they invent things on TikTok.
Everything.
Yes.
The world started 2 years ago on TikTok. Like as if they're like, I was thinking, when someone's cute, I'll let them do anything, and if they're not, I'm like not into it. And it's like, yeah, we've been saying this.
Right.
This
It's like
has been around for a millennia.
It's like everyone was just born.
Right.
I'm off my TikTok like I don't know. I haven't do you feel like that? Like you're looking at it constantly or not at all? I haven't looked at it in a long time.
TikTok's one of those things where it's like you're either, I agree.
You're in or you're out.
You're in or you're out, and the scroll keeps going.
Right.
And you get on a roll. If my scroll is bad, TikTok can gross me out of it. Like I can get the ick from TikTok. Like I can get to my like For You page and I get like ick-tock. I like that.
You heard it here first.
There it is. No, it's good.
Well.
Hey, I was thinking, have you guys ever gotten ick-tock? Sometimes you get that scroll, that run of people that are like, that I just go, ugh, get out of here. Why am I looking at you? There's a few TikTok things that I'm just like, I don't know. And it's funny, you can't really.
Right, you're mad at TikTok for even showing you this.
Right, and then there's some people I see on there that I'm like, get out of my face. I don't know. I don't know how you got.
I always think get out of my
following. Right. I don't know why people even like you.
Right, and it's especially annoying when you see like a terrible video and it has like 600,000 likes.
Right, there's this whole like thing going on.
You're mad at the world that they like this.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a person right now I think that's blowing up because. I got half the story. I don't know these stories, but people are like, I guess she dated some professional baseball player and then she broke up with him and she's like, I'll give all the tea if I can, and it's like, ugh. Who's looking at that going, oh, this is
someone I want to date.
I wanted to even talk to.
Right.
I'm just like, ugh, are you giving all the tea on what? What? Right. You didn't, he split dinner one time? A lot of we're going to get into the dating side of TikTok. A lot of it's just like, it's just very garbagey and icky. And it's like, it's very, you know what it is? It's very People magazine. So I know why people like it. Like back in the day, my mom would look through People magazine. Oh, so-and-so seeing so-and-so. So-and-so cheated. Brad and Jen.
Right.
Brad and Jen.
If it's a real celebrity, like, I know, even so, it's still kind of gross. That's why celebrities only date other celebrities because they know how to keep their mouth shut.
We fucked ourselves over.
Right? Seriously. Right. That's why they don't date the normal people.
Right. And then it's like a half story. Like all of these are always half stories.
Right.
They're all nothing. But because they've been dramatized and because they use words, and now we're in this world of using buzzy words that are therapy words, you go, is this person just banned from society now? Like, I don't know. We've talked about this in the past a little bit as far as like the
Adam Levine of it all.
Right. The Adam Levine thing. I mean, that went away.
That went away pretty quick. Yeah.
Like, and no one talks about it anymore. And are we allowed to like Adam Levine? And then I hate that. Are we allowed to like? I can't even believe I fucking just said that.
I mean, you can like Adam Levine's music and not like Adam Levine. I've never really liked Adam Levine.
Wow.
And that's why I was really kind of happy when this happened. Not because like I was like, oh, good, because I'm just kind of like, I never really saw what everyone was into about him. And I'm like, okay, yeah, he kind of sucks, just like everyone else.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jew with tattoos. Some people get into that.
I just don't like I always just felt like his like stance was like,
I didn't even know his stance. I don't even know.
Just like his whole vibe is like a little cocky. I don't know.
Okay.
I just not into Adam Levine.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But also you didn't make a video going, I got a story for you.
Let me tell you about Adam Levine.
I just don't like his aura. End of story. It's all that type of stuff.
I mean, the story that came out was a little bit more specific than that.
Well, that person had a story, but then it also was like, yeah, this guy cheats on his wife. Let them handle it. Like, I don't know.
I'm definitely not team let them handle it. I'm definitely team tell me everything.
Well, that's the thing.
But you're Adam Levine and he is asking for that.
I guess so.
And I mean, I get your stance on this. Is like, it's kind of gross, but also like if you're Adam Levine and you're just like, I mean, I don't know why we're still talking. We brought it back. Sorry, Adam. And you're just like DMing women that you're like clearly saying inappropriate shit to. I'm like, there has to I feel good about the fact that men can't be that stupid. And you feel like there's the level of cockiness that has to go through your head for you to do that and not be like scared every single night that person's going to tell someone. I'm like, okay, at least now you know, like, you can't be that stupid.
Right. Or he's allowed to be that stupid. You know, like
someone's letting him be that stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
Like not even in his, I'm not even talking about his marriage, just like by societally.
Right.
Like you said, I can still like his music.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's still going to get the plays. You know, it doesn't
true.
even.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't matter.
That's true. Sometimes, don't you ever see these news stories where you're just like, I don't understand how this man could think this was a good idea.
I see that
and
all
it's
the time.
It's usually men, not to gender them, but it's usually men where you're like, didn't you think this through? Or something like that. You know what it also is? I'm on my walk here. I was listening to the Scott Peterson true crime episode.
Okay.
And where he's like, you know,
Adam Levine, Scott Peterson.
you know, obviously different leagues, but you just hear Scott Peterson. They're playing clips of the interview. Scott Peterson just lying to Barbara Walters about like, it's my wife's 8.5 months pregnant. I told her I was having an affair. She was okay with it. She was chill with it. It's basically what he said. And I'm just like, there's no way that like this man is this stupid. It's just, I don't know.
I've said it's a bad cocktail. Success. Penis and success and penis is a bad cocktail.
And throw in social media.
So social media, money, it's all, and ego. You know the what brings down a man. You know, like this is you know Shakespeare.
Penis always brings him down.
Always Shakespearean. It always goes that way. Look, I mean, like you look at like what's going on with Tom Brady. Like I look at Tom Brady, I'm like, he looks like every dad who's lost his mind a little bit. And I'm a Tom Brady fan.
Yeah.
But his look, you're like, he looks like he's wearing the Paisley shirt at Blue Martini in Tampa. You know? Right? And then, no, not Tampa.
Like Fort Lauderdale.
Naples.
Yeah, sure.
Like he looks like that guy. Mm-hmm. He looks like the type that's that's in the New Balance shoes at the bar. You know, like and you're like, oh my God,
his kids bowling every other weekend now.
Right. And now and then you go, why wouldn't he think that he's unfailable? Like why, this guy won 6 Super Bowls. He's literally called the GOAT. Everyone you go, it's just a messy cocktail. You can really trip up on that shit.
Fly too close to the sun. The penis has that effect on people.
It really does. That's
I think maybe that's why women don't do it that much. They're just not as ruled by their sex drive. There's just nothing. I could never imagine being so riled up or interested in someone that I would just like ruin my whole life.
Right. or just send like a DM like that. Like it's just
by doing that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be so thoughtless.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and you see it. It's every Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's a lot.
This guy had
a lot
a kid
of
with his the housekeeper.
Yeah.
And you go, Arnold.
Control yourself.
Arnold,
right?
the housekeeper, and not to say you shouldn't, but like they're just walking around, and one day he's like, like I don't know how that, and it scares me. I think this is like,
right.
I kind of talked about it in the special taping, just like married men, the way they talk to single men. You're like, oh, they're like
those are the bad
men.
ones, though.
I know. Well, it's. I think the humbling part is it's within all of us.
Men.
Like men.
Not me.
Well, how many times have I looked at some of these situations from the podcast and gone, oh, yeah, okay. I can't defend it, but I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, listen, I understand and I don't understand.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I don't really understand because I just don't, that my mind doesn't work that way. But clearly it happens.
Well, that article about like the sexless men thing that we had, that,
what was it?
It was
single lonely men.
Single lonely men. And I brought it up back then, but I do believe that like these apps are kind of not made for the male brain, like to be, the distraction of them.
The disgusting male brain.
That's right. They become a distraction that you don't go to date 3 because you're like, ooh, new people.
Right.
And then I had someone, they were saying that I did this, the dating makeover show on Spotify. I did that. And people would call in. This woman called in. She said, I went on a 3rd date with a guy. I got in the car and he's on Bumble. And I'm like, so what did you say? She's like, I was upset, obviously. We went on the date. I was like, how would that date go?
On it. While
she's getting in the car. And I go, and she's like, the date was horrible. I was a brat. And I was like, yeah, rightfully so. And then I was like, well, she's like, well, then what was...
That's someone with an addiction.
Right. And I think, but I don't think that happens. I think that's very male to me, that he's like still looking at the new swipes
while he's on the date. Yeah.
And there's a piece of me that I go, I don't defend it, but I go, have I gone on a date and gone to the bathroom and peed at a urinal and pulled out my phone and looked at Hinge? Yes.
Sure.
That's not beyond me. So that,
there's levels of it. Yeah. But right. I mean, and we've talked about this too. It's like the apps are addictive.
Right.
In that way. And so it's really all about learning how to, use them, not be addicted. They're working for you. You're not working for them.
But how many people write into this show? They're like, I was on, I saw the app on his phone. And then the guys will explain it. They'll go, no, well, I just, I'm not looking at it. And I would never go on a date. One person told me they asked the guy about it, and he was like, well, I would never go on a date with any of those people. It's not like I'm going on dates.
Then it's like you're looking at porn.
Right. I don't know what this is, but it just like, it's like, I hear that and I go, I know what he's saying, but I'm like, I don't agree with it,
Yeah, I mean, I can understand having an addiction to something that just feels like an impulse. It doesn't feel like it's not like a thoughtful thing. It's like, oh, let me open up the apps and see what's going on. It's more just like, like your phone goes from like Instagram to like TikTok to whatever the other app is, and then you hit the dating apps.
It's in the carousel.
It's in the rotation where you don't think. How many times do we mindlessly just open Instagram every day?
Every day.
Probably like 100 times a day. You're just like, it's like an instinct. It's not like something you're like, let me go see what's going on.
No, you don't think of it as like I'm on the prowl.
Right.
It's a different thought. It's just I'm opening it.
Exactly. Well, let's get into the email.
Let's do it. I mean, this is on internet culture a little bit too. We're on the topic.
We're on the topic-ish. Okay. Hey, J&J, writing in to get your insight on a trend I've come across on the dating side of TikTok recently. As you probably know, there are several female TikTokers whose content involves chronicling their own dating life, including their bad dates. One of these TikTokers made a video sharing a story about how she immediately ended a first date after a man asked her point blank, "What's your body count?" She was instantly turned off by this, and any attraction she felt for him went out the window. As a woman, I could totally see myself doing the same thing. That's an invasive question that shows a total lack of social awareness. However, when I pulled up the comments, there were a significant number of men writing in, insisting if she thought he was hot, it wouldn't bother her. And hot guys can get away with asking that, so other guys think it's okay for them too. I'll comment at the end.
Yeah.
This isn't the only time I've seen men make this type of comment on women's videos. While there are sometimes scenarios where the sentiment makes sense, for example, a man sending flowers to a woman's workplace as a surprise, I regularly see this comment as a response to women describing truly awful experiences where a man is a blatant asshole or shows other inexcusable behavior. While the dating side of TikTok is a pretty crazy place, I can't help but be shocked by how many men insist this is the truth and genuinely seem to believe this. Is this just a case of TikTok being a place that lives in extremes, or do men actually believe this is how women think? Here's the thing. I do think there's truth to the idea of cute if you're into it, creepy if you aren't. I also believe that people are more patient and accommodating with those they're attracted to. They can get away with more. All that said, this idea doesn't apply to anything remotely close to every single action or behavior one can take. In my opinion, this idea is more applicable to guys who go out of their way to do a grand gesture, like surprises, public displays of affection, etc., that involve doing the extra mile. In terms of cute versus creepy, or being more flexible with planning and scheduling dates, or in terms of being more patient and accommodating with someone you're into. There is absolutely a threshold, and it's in no way as simple as a hot guy can do or say whatever he wants. How you treat someone matters. The way you communicate can affect or change how attracted someone is to you. I might be attracted to you at first, but that attraction can go away very quickly if you say something asinine. What do you guys think? Do men see things differently with their attraction to women, and do they just assume women think the same way they do? It's quite puzzling. Sincerely, if I had the opportunity to date Tyler Cameron and he spat in my eye, I would dump him and never talk to him again.
Okay. It's hard to like... I hear what they're saying. but every time they say men, they should say men on the internet. Because the idea that this large group of men, they're a large group of men who would comment
on a
dating TikTok, then that makes it so their algorithm looks like your algorithm. If you're on the crazy dating side of TikTok, they're there because they keep commenting on them. And the language of like even the TikTokers is kind of guilty of the same thing as the commenters. The TikTokers, like, he asked me my body count, I left right away. Like, it's very extreme. And then the extreme response, and I'm not saying she's wrong for leaving the date right away, but it's all in how you say it. Like, if she was just like, you brought up the body count, and then and then I was like, I'd rather not talk about that. So then the next drink, they asked if we wanted more drinks. Then I said, no, I'm going to go get going. Thank you for bringing me. And it ended like that. That wouldn't blow up on TikTok.
Right. Well, that's not, this is the internet.
Right.
And that's the reason you want all the... You wanted to make it sensationalist because that's what gets views.
Right. So you're going to get the sensationalist comments.
Right.
And to me, when I hear these, if she thought it was hot, it wouldn't bother her. Hot guys can get away with asking that, so other guys think it's okay for them too. This is from like the incel-y type of dude. Like, it's very incel-y, and it's very much like doesn't live in the land of nuance and kind of discussion as far as like, and what both sides don't want to believe.
Right.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Also, I'm just saying, like, think about the kind of person that comments on a TikTok video.
Like that. Right.
Right. Or, like, I feel like beyond tagging a friend, commenting with like fighting or like trying to make a point in a TikTok video is a very specific kind of person. Right. I would imagine. I mean, a lot of people do it, so maybe that's me being judgmental. But
no, I think they're losers. I think they're idiots, and if they're not being funny, then you shouldn't even comment at all.
Right.
It's be funny or supportive, and then the other comments are
move on.
stupid.
If you don't like the video,
no, I think they're stupid people, and I actually, I think the big, one of the biggest things that like Trump kind of normalized is people is referring to any group as people are talking. Everyone says it.
Right.
All these, and I hate that so much because, like, show me the people. Give me the people. I want to meet these guys that write, to the video of a guy asking the body count.
Right.
If he was hot,
some people said it right. If he was hot, it'd be fine. First of all, if he was hot, he wouldn't need to say it.
Well, what they don't want to admit to, and the internet hates charm.
Yeah.
Charm is a magical skill.
Not quantifiable.
Not quantifiable. It is almost, it's magic. It's when people are charming, they can say things, and if you're charmed by someone, I'll give a very specific. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw somewhere that someone said the definition of charm is when someone is charming, they make you and me both seem better than we are.
I love that,
which I think is very accurate.
Very accurate.
Like, that's what charm is.
I love charming people. I aspire to be charming.
Same. And not gonna happen for me.
The internet hates charm because it was created by charmless people. Mm-hmm. Right? It was created by the types of people who don't want to leave the house, that don't want to sell you anything. Right. They want a world of, black and white and AI and I sound conspiratorial, but it is my people. I come from sales people. Like grandparents, parents, everyone in my family has always been in sales. So like the act of charm is
sort of innate to sales, isn't it? Charm.
Absolutely, yeah. I would say it's a big part of it, and making people feel good about the interaction they're having with someone. Mm-hmm. I go to a coffee place. I reference another coffee place. I'm going to give a huge plug. I love this coffee place. It is I don't even know the name.
A different coffee place than the Elk.
Blackstone Coffee Roaster.
Oh, I think I've seen that. They have.
I think everyone's been there. Yeah. It's on Hudson, corner of Christopher and Hudson. Blackstone Coffee Roaster. There's a guy and his two sons work there. They're the most charming people I've ever met. They every day they know everyone's name, and I'll never forget. I was sitting there at Blackstone Coffee Roasters. They have an outdoor section, and I'm hearing these other people. This couple brought another couple there. They lived in the neighborhood. The other couple was staying with them, and the woman goes, I don't know what it is. He's always like, hey babe, hey girl, hey cutie. And she goes, if anyone else said that to me, I'd hate it. Right. When this guy, she was like, this guy, I love him. I love and I'm like, yeah, he's a charming guy. He has the power of looking you in the eye and saying hello. So when I hear I don't think a charming person would say, what's your body count?
Right.
would ask that question. Now, because that's the land of extreme. This is someone who's trying to get somewhere. I think a charming person, when you've been on a date with them, yes, they're going to say things that maybe you wouldn't have said on a first date. Maybe you wouldn't admit things to them on a first date. Maybe you wouldn't, when they touch the side of your hip.
It's possible someone could get away with it if asked in the right way with the right charm, as you're
Right.
saying.
And what these incel-y people don't want to believe is they're like, well, you should, if he was hot, then everything would be different. No. If
Not
you
about
were,
hot.
it's not about hot. It's
Yeah.
about charm and giving someone that feeling of what you said.
You and I are both better than we think we are.
Right.
Yes.
And this date is better than we think it is.
Yes.
So, again, I want to say that coffee place is the best, and I love interacting with them. Just saying hi.
Yes.
They make people feel good.
Yeah.
So when I read this, I understand what she's saying. And she goes into a little rant of her own at the end. Where
Right. I don't really like. It's her point, basically, like that she just doesn't believe that a hot person can say what they want. Like, I didn't really fully understand her point.
She did say she believes that hot people get away with more stuff, but I think she left out this idea of
Charming people get away with more stuff.
charming
right?
people.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have a look on it. That doesn't have, and the way she signs out, she's guilty of the same thing the incel dudes are doing. If I had the opportunity to date Tyler Cameron and he spat in my eye, I would dump him and never talk to him again. That's not how the date with Tyler Cameron would go.
Right.
There's no
Tyler Cameron is very charming.
very charming.
Very charming.
Charm doesn't, absolutely. And if he spit in your eye, it would be during some, when you're having sex and you
It would
ask
make
for
sense.
it. Yes, it would make sense
for the interaction.
So I guess this is a plea to, this is a plea to stop saying people. Like when we say 7 people told us they liked the show, everyone's asking what I'm wearing today. No, 3 people.
Yes.
Show me the 3. Are they? So I don't know. This is
no. I think that's a very good point. I think it's kind of like if you're turned off by it, the person's not charming. Didn't do it well.
It didn't do well. I mean, that's why I do a whole bit in the special. You were there about the ick. I talk about the ick and how it's not relatable to me. And I think the ick is more applicable to this situation. What she's saying, the idea of like, what's your body count? Yeah, that's not an ick. That's an asshole.
Right.
If we put body count guy into ick world, we've hurt ick world.
Yeah.
Because ick world is I wasn't charmed by someone I was giving a chance to. The ick is someone that you went out with that you're like, I don't know. Let's see. They check a couple boxes.
Right.
Maybe I'll go on the date and I'll be charmed. And the ick is when you are not charmed.
Right.
So, and those are more fun conversations that you can laugh at because you're like, can you believe he had a Velcro wallet? That's the more fun and not TikTok-y conversation that happens at the brunch table, happens on this podcast. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think to her point, I think it is true. You can if you have charm and you are charming, you might be able to get away with like you said, someone's calling you a name that you would kind of find gross, or like even just think about like people who are charming get away with like they're late more, and you'd be like, but they would come in a way that was like you'd have to forgive them. Like it wouldn't be
right. I know people like this. I'm telling you, that coffee place Blackstone, I love going there. I love watching how they say hi to everyone. They know people's names. Hey, baby girl, how you doing? You go, yeah, baby girl wants this coffee. And I love it. I just love that it still exists. It makes me happy to see a business doing well and I'm watching people that go there every day, and I'm like, I love that this business is doing well in part due to charm.
I wish I could be charming. How do you think
you're charming?
How do you think
you
cultivate that?
I work on it. I say hi to everybody. When I go to the coffee place, I always take out my headphones.
Okay.
I never want to have headphones in.
You walk into the Betches office. Hey, Betches.
Hey, Betches. I work on my, I try
every day.
My variable conversations.
Okay.
There are variable conversations in your life that come with people that you don't know what they're going to be and what they're going to say, and I invite those opportunities.
Well, here's the thing about being charming is that it does require a little bit of a bullshitting thing.
Absolutely.
Which,
smiling when you don't want it.
Right. I don't fully lean towards that, but I would love to do it more in theory.
I think you're charming.
Thank you, Jared.
Let's go to the awkward sex. You
All
ready?
right, I'm ready.
Keep sending yours in, uup@betches.com. We love an awkward sex story. This one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Big fan of the podcast.
Less long than the last one.
The last one, I'm still haunted by it. So fucking long. I have an awkward sex story. Jared, I've seen you do stand-up twice. Laughed so hard. Thank you. I have an awkward sex story from my freshman year of college about the first frat party I ever attended that always gets a laugh every time I tell it. If I'm to give a note to the listeners, let's get to the laughs.
Cut. You're right to cut.
I trust you. You're sending it in that people like the story. My freshman year of college, my roommate and I were hanging out in our dorm when a friend of mine from high school texted me and asked if I want to go to a frat party. Our school had very little Greek life, and I'd never been to one before, so I say sure. And my roommate and I head out to meet her and grab our male friend across the hall on our way out. So I head out to meet her and grab our male friend across the hall on our way out. The four of us.
She, her friend, and their other friend who lives on, or like a guy friend that lives across the hall.
That's three. Right? Am I? Okay, there's a phantom other person.
Never
okay,
mind.
The four of us meet at a party.
Bad at counting, too. No charm, bad counter.
We're really putting together a resume here.
Yeah.
It's the roommate, her, the friend, and the male friend.
The roommate,
okay.
her, the friend. Okay, so the friend says come to the party. Her and her roommate go get the male friend across the hall. Got it. Thank you, Jorge. Okay. And within the hour, my roommate
This is what you get when you marry a teacher.
That's right.
Better counting skills.
And reading comprehension. The four of us meet up at the party. Within the hour, my roommate is telling me she is going to leave with a guy she met to hang out at his place. I'm kind of drunk, and this strikes me as kind of not the best idea for her to leave with a stranger. So I say, great, we'll come too.
We'll all come to.
I'm sure that guy was like, oh yeah, more the merrier. Everyone hopes all the friends come. All four of us plus frat guy head over to his apartment, and soon there's Justin Timberlake songs playing, and everyone is doing body shots and hanging out.
That sounds fun.
Great time. I love this. A little while later, my roommate and the frat boy disappear off to his room, and then my friend from high school follows them up. I wonder to myself, what's so interesting up there? This person doesn't sound like it feels like they have heard of college before.
Yeah. Right.
I
wonder. Curious.
Right. Yeah. I wonder
what's going on up there.
But don't follow him up to investigate because I'm talking with my friend from the dorm. A little while later, frat guy's roommate comes home to see the two of us lounging in his living room. He sighs, looks at us, and says, "Did he put on Justin Timberlake?" Then he tells his roommate, "We all have to go." After leaving, we had to head back to the dorms, and all four of us end up in my room. In my roommate and I's dorm room. And before I know it, both our twin beds are being pushed together so everyone has somewhere to sleep. I don't really understand why they don't just go back to their own room, but I say, whatever, I need to shower. Then when I'm back, both beds are pushed together. The only problem is my bed is on bed raisers. So it's 4 inches higher than my roommate's, leaving all three of them on one twin bed and me on my bed alone. I crawl into my bed and notice my friend from high school making out with the guy from my dorm. And then I roll over and fall asleep. The next morning I wake up, everyone's gone. The beds are back to normal. And I don't think of anything of it. Until a few hours later when the roommate of the guy across the hall comes banging on their door to ask if he had actually had a threesome the night before or if he was lying. I say, I don't know anything about that. Probably lying. Shut the door. Then I turn around to see my roommate standing there who gives me the real story of what happened the night before. I find there had not been one, but 2 threesomes the night before, both at the frat guy's house and also in our room. I'd never felt more oblivious in my entire life, on top of being super embarrassed that I had invited myself and our friends along to her hookup. Signed, Oblivious Betch. What do you think?
So there's a lot of people in this thing. I was a little confused.
Me too.
So she and the roommate are in the room, and the roommate is having a threesome on her twin bed next to her sleeping on the other bed.
I guess so.
Yes.
Right.
And back at the dorms, back at the frat house.
Yeah, the frat guy's
The other
house.
friend is having a threesome with the frat guy.
I hope everything was done consensually and happily, and I hope everyone had a great. I hope all 6 of these people had a great time. It does sound like that. I love that this friend is just like nighty night.
I also like that she decided she was going to shower.
Shower? Yeah.
Why do you shower after you get back from, like, who has the wherewithal to be like showering when you get back from a frat party?
Right. I don't think this person's a real party animal.
Yeah, like you said, it kind of does sound like they have just they this is like their first time at college.
Wide-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Right.
Just like, what? We're
that
going to
what
go
we
to
do here?
Right. People kiss?
You put the shot in the Jello. There's a ice luge. What do you do?
What?
You put your cup underneath the ice luge.
Right. It does feel like that. You're just like,
Right.
I mean, everything is like, and there is that person in a lot of groups where it's like, yeah, we're going to go in the other room. They're like, I'll come too. And you're like, okay. It was kind of just going to be us two.
The less charming of the group.
Right.
Yes.
That is not someone who has
Right,
charm.
where are we going?
Yeah, we are going over
Do you want to
here.
get food? Let's go.
No, yeah, I want to eat at some point.
You said earlier you did want to come. You should come.
Didn't you say you were gassy? Don't you want to leave? You know, it's like very Jewish mother not getting
Lauren,
it.
don't forget your meds.
Okay, I won't forget them. Like,
You don't even have a toothbrush. What do you mean you're staying here?
right? That person exists so much, and whenever they pop out, you're like, I can't believe you exist. I can't believe it's you.
You're not with the program.
Right. What? You didn't see all this going on before your eyes?
That's very funny.
We're dancing to Justin Timberlake. Everyone's wet.
Hello. Yeah, that would be a little scarring to have a threesome take place right next to your bed. Why do they
Right.
need to push the bed next to hers? Why do they need to push the bed together?
You gotta
Maybe
need more
maybe
space.
they were assuming she would leave.
I think well, it's freshman year too, so they don't know each other.
I guess.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
you know, there's after a few years, you go, okay, we got to stay away from Stacy. She doesn't fucking understand shit.
Right.
You
Maybe
know?
won't request her next year.
Right.
For the dorm.
What would you call this?
I liked Maddie's name. She wrote the fourth wheel.
Right.
That was very accurate.
I had Sleeping Beauty.
Okay, I like that.
Just her.
Snow White.
Snow White. Yeah, like the fourth wheel is good. It's so funny because it's so relatable, that one person that just never, what? Don't you need more sheets for the two beds?
They're
what?
like two. It's almost like sweet because they're so
Right.
innocent.
It's such innocence.
Right.
Like, I don't know. People just, three of them went off together.
Where are they going? Right. What's going on in there?
It's almost like this person, and I'm sure they're different now, but they live in, that person who that is lives in a world where everyone's Ken and Barbie with no genitalia.
right.
Like everyone's.
Why would they be going there?
Right.
Aw.
Let's do another email.
All right. Okay.
Oh, this is near and dear to your heart.
I know,
maybe.
right? It's a good one. Hi, J&J, long-time listener, first-time writer. I'll get right to it. I recently got Invisalign, and I'm just getting back into online dating. I have a first date this week, and I'm debating how I should handle the fact that I have to take my liners out during drinks/eating, but I'm not supposed to have them out for more than a few hours a day.
Okay.
This is a tough one.
It is funny though, like the goody two shoes aspect of this.
Yes.
Like the idea that like I'm gonna go on, like I would
Listen.
never even think. I'd be like, oh, I'll take him out for the date.
Listen, Invisalign's expensive.
Right.
There is an
investment
element of
made.
like, if I'm going to do this,
I better fucking.
I
do it.
want to do it right. So I'm not like, I didn't just pay like $5,000 to just be like sitting here. You know what I mean?
Right, and I want to get it
Ruining-
over with.
Yes,
So
exactly.
time is of the
I
essence.
understand her mental state of like, you could be like, fuck it, but you're also like, what's the point?
right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. So I have a first date this week, and I'm debating how I should handle the fact that I have to take my liners out during drinks/eating, but I'm not supposed to have them out for more than a few hours a day. With friends, I've gotten comfortable just popping them out publicly, rinsing my mouth with water before popping them back in, and giving them a good clean when I'm home later. But on a first date, that would probably be
Just like the dentist told me.
But on a first date, that would probably be a bit too disgusting. Or would it? When it comes to these things, I'm pretty comfortable, but I'm also not trying to draw attention to my liners and the weird slobbery removal of them right away.
It depends how hot she is.
I mean,
Hot girls can do anything.
so my question is, should I plan for a 2-hour max date and keep them out? Or should I go to the bathroom to remove them and put them back in? I know this is something I can just own, and I don't plan to hide it from dating app people, but I also don't want to flaunt it in a weird and oversharing kind of way right off the bat. Jordana, I know you've dealt with liners. What would you do? Jared, if a first date took them out and put them back in front of you, what would you think? Thanks for all the advice and entertainment over the years. Am I tooth much? Good sign off.
Good sign off. What do you think?
It's funny, when I had mine, I didn't have Invisalign, so like they were like permanently in there. And as you know, I had a very large list for like the first couple months that I had them. And I did think, and it was embarrassing enough to have to go through like my day to day and do this podcast and several others while doing it. But I remember thinking like, what if I were dating? Like, and I had this list, but like, would I stop dating? Would I like explain it? Would it be like, would I just take the month off? And I did remember, I remember like not really being sure of what the answer is. This is less, I think, this you can take out. So it's a slightly different
But you're
set of
taking
circumstances.
literally like a slobbered thing and placing it on the table. Like, I do understand.
Here's what I would do if I were her. I would take it out before.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the date was going really well, I would just say fuck it and be like off for one night.
Interesting.
If the date wasn't going well, then it's a win-win. The date's not going well. You have this in the back. This is an extra thing you're thinking about.
Right.
And then you're like, all right, I gotta go.
It's time to go.
I gotta go to put my Invisalign. It's a great out.
It's a great extra hoop for them to jump through.
Yes.
Like, are they worth it? Are they Invisalign worth it? It's like
exactly.
It's like the Elaine and Seinfeld. Are they
sponge-worthy?
Sponge-worthy.
Yes.
Are they Invisible-worthy?
Kind of.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I guess I'll give from my end, if I was on a date with someone and they were like, listen, I got Invisalign a week ago. I'm going to maybe pop them off.
Or if you go to the bathroom, I think that's also fine.
Or if you pop them in at a certain point, if you're like, I got to pop these in, it's $5,000. I made an investment. I would go, I wouldn't think twice about it. It really wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't turn me off. It wouldn't be an overshare at all.
Right.
To make them feel better. And also it would be a conversation on the date, like a fun one, like a vulnerable one. Like,
it's
just
kind of
like
cute.
Right. Like, and also, anytime someone's trying to improve themselves, I'm always like, team improve yourself. Like,
this is only gonna be. This whole look is only getting better from here on in.
My mind's on it. And also, I said this last episode, I would encourage this person to use my strategy to feel better. Imagine the person on the date complaining to his friends about you with Invisalign.
Yes.
And how shitty they would sound.
Yes.
So imagine them going to their friends being like, ugh, I went on this date. Can you believe? And again, this is something guys don't do.
Right.
Like,
I think she's more like, that's the ick, or like,
she's afraid. She's afraid of a thing she's hearing a female do a lot, because the ick would be, and I'm on the date with this guy to go back to the ick conversation, it would be someone that like, and we're not really having fun. And then all of a sudden he takes out his Invisalign and everyone's like, ah! Here's
the thing.
Fuck that guy. Never go out with him. Fuck him.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, I can imagine if I was like on the fence and a guy was putting in his Invisalign being like, it wasn't too sexy.
Right.
This
is where charm comes in. This is where, and I don't think, for her, I would say to her, like, if someone said to me, like, also, I got Invisalign. I might have to pop them back in if we go long hair. Just a warning. I'd be like, whoa, okay, great. Let me see him. It wouldn't be.
I think you could also just go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
If you're
again, think of him going to his friends going, so I'm on this date, and this chick she takes out her Invisalign.
It's more like, I think it might push you if you were like, again, would this happen with a guy where like you're on the fence and then you're like, and then I was like a little unattracted.
Here's the difference. Guys don't go on dates that they're not sure they're attracted.
Okay.
So
maybe that is the difference.
That's the difference, because that is the difference. So like the idea that like they're Invisalign away from not wanting to continue the date where maybe they'd get blown, that's crazy to me.
All right. Well, what if she had a temporary lisp?
Wouldn't matter.
Permanent.
Wouldn't matter. Like, there is not even this. I mean, she could pull anything out of her fucking mouth. She could be a clown pulling out different color string. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Where'd you get those,
Yeah.
the ribbons?
No.
Just pulling out string out of them out different colors. I really, honestly,
You're
like,
cool with it.
this is, I mean, the clown version is an extreme. This is something you're just gonna get better. Like that,
That's true.
you had and obviously you're self-conscious about it in a certain way. Like, listen, I thought my teeth were okay. Someone once messaged me. They're like, it's so nice that you don't care that your teeth look the way that you do, and you type so close on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dentists will do that. I feel like well, they'll be like,
Get in your head.
they'll be like, oh yeah, like have you ever thought about teeth whitening? Well, it's like, I guess you have.
Yeah.
For me.
Not until today.
Right.
Yeah, I to me, I agree with you. Go in the bathroom. Be
Yeah.
be
If
cool
I
about
can
it.
understand wanting to like have a little mystery on a
course.
first date. I don't think there's anything wrong with
Yeah,
that.
this isn't me telling her to like take it out, throw it on the table,
Right.
be like, okay,
Could you
what are
pick
we
that
drinking?
up for
Yeah.
me? Oh, I forgot them on the. Would you grab them?
Right. Do you guys have another glass I can float them in?
Yeah,
You know?
I don't think there's anything wrong with like trying to put your best,
Right.
sexiest self forward on a first date. And to me, that means again, like leave if it's not going well. I think it's a great excuse, and
Right.
if it is, just go to the bathroom.
Right. No, I'm with you. And I can also understand where she doesn't feel sexy.
Yeah, that's the other
That's
part.
yeah.
Right.
And you go, I get that. You want
Yeah.
to feel good on the date.
Well, sometimes it's fun to like go to if you're into the date, it's like fun. You go to the bathroom, you reapply your like lip gloss,
Right.
Put in your teeth. It's the whole. You feel like
Take a look on Tinder.
I would use this as like a good bar to see if you like the sponge-worthy thing. Like,
Right.
do I like this guy enough that I'm gonna go to the bathroom and put my Invisalign back in, or should I just go home?
I like that because it takes something that's negative and makes it positive.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in. Let's play some games.
let's do it.
UUP@betches.com. Red flag or deal breaker. We love a red flag deal breaker. We love specificity.
This is a great one.
Hey, J&J. Love the pod. Also, love oversharing in the Betches podcast.
Awesome.
I have a story from a few years ago that I thought you guys might find funny. Sorry in advance for the length. Made it
Half an
longer.
index card on that one.
I was going on a date with this guy, and he was really adamant about picking me up from my house to take me on the date. I met him through mutual friends, and this would be our second time meeting, so I didn't think much of it and thought he was just being chivalrous. He picks me up in his sports car. I think it was a Corvette. I could tell he was really proud of it. And when I got in, he said he had it cleaned just for our date. Cool.
This is the type of guy.
Oh, my God. Just him leaning against it. What's up, Toots?
Hold on. Step right in.
He hits it with his hip.
Bet you didn't think you'd be picked up in this car.
Right.
Right?
Ever seen a vet? Flash forward to the end of the date. We're driving back to my house, and he's about to turn into my street. He goes, want to take it on a real drive with me?
I'm getting the ick so bad.
This is charm. This is it. This is the fine line. I'm thinking, what the fuck does that mean? But say, sure. The difference in their demeanors based on how I read this, it's like, want to take a real ride with me? And then she's like,
I guess.
Okay.
All right. Is that going to get me home faster? Yeah.
he immediately hits the gas and takes off, going 60 plus miles per hour through a residential neighborhood. That's how you know she's not enjoying it.
Residential neighborhood.
Oh, I'm so wet getting driven through this residential neighborhood.
You're going by a school zone. Just so you know.
The engine is so loud I can't hear anything, and I think he can see the discomfort on my face and slows down and apologizes for taking off. I say it's fine and then proceed to head towards. Then he proceeds to head towards the highway. He says he just wants to take it on the highway for a little, and then he'll take me back home. He starts speeding through the highway, weaving in and out of cars, going up to other sports cars, and revving his engine to get them to race him. I'm so annoyed at this point, and he finally slows down and says he'll get off at the next exit to take me home. As he's saying this, we approach a traffic jam. We end up sitting bumper to bumper traffic for 45 minutes. I couldn't believe it. Also, his car was a stick shift. So every time we would move slightly forward, every time we could move forward slightly in traffic, he had to shift gears and his engine would rev and my head would jerk back and forth. So I spent the next 45 minutes trying not to be obviously annoyed, and we finally get back to my place. This is where the worst part comes. He approaches my house and asks if he can drop me off on the other side of the street because my driveway had water puddles from the sprinklers. And he didn't want to splash his car since he got it washed. So annoyed. I was like, just stop the car here and I'll get out. He stops the car and I go to reach for the handle door and I can't find it. It's dark and I guess he had a weird handle because it was a sports car. He just sits there and watches as I'm searching for every part of his door to open it. After what felt like forever, I turn to him and tell him I can't find the handle. He then looks me dead in the eye with this little smirk on his face, pushes a button on the door side. My door flies open and he says, boom, Batmobile.
Oh my God.
I love this guy. I love it. He never backed down.
What a fucking cheesy ass.
He had to take it all the way to Batmobile. I say nothing, immediately get out and shut the door. Don't even give him the option to walk me to my door. A few weeks later, our mutual friend said she ran into him and told her, yeah, I don't think she's going to go out with me again. He was right. As annoying as the night was, I get a good laugh at it every time. Anyways, red flag or deal breaker, guy is too into his car. Thanks, not his Robin bitch.
Yeah, I would definitely be out. I feel like guys really overestimate how much women are like into this kind of car.
Right.
I feel like they think it's like such like a chick magnet. Like, oh my God, like she's going to get in the Porsche. It's going to be incredible. Like she's going to be so wowed. It's like most people don't really care that much.
Right. Well,
especially if you're like this about it. If you happen to show up in a nice car, that's kind of nice.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's almost like saying versus showing.
Right.
Like if he had shown up in the car
and then just drove normally,
didn't
mention the car,
didn't bring it up, and then you had questions. Oh, this is like a nice car. And then he was like, well, I'm like really into it and had a passion for it. And all of a sudden you unveiled that he has all this knowledge. And then you're like, does it go fast? And he's like, if you want to go on the highway, I can show you. That's
a totally different story.
This is the theme of this episode. Like, this is like such a funny thing to me because it's like it's all in how he served it. It's all in how he handled it. Again, Blackstone coffee roaster.
This guy's no charm.
No, that you walk into another coffee
the car
place
would be in place of the charm.
Right. Absolutely.
I guess maybe it would work. I don't know. I've seen like I feel like the guy in the car thing is like such a cliche.
Right. Well,
like,
you lean on it when you don't know what else to do.
Or they think it's gonna get you to have sex with them. It's just like I don't understand the mindset.
What if he pulled up in a Tesla and he was like, "Look, I can make the horn different," and then the horn is like he like made it fun.
Or plays a song.
Right. It's like, If
I asked, I think that would be one thing.
This horn is I want it that way.
You can't make the Tesla your whole personality.
Right. It's very funny. I don't like when people, I know certain people who are like big car people. They want to show you how they drive. They want to like drive the car. And I'm never like on board. I'm always like feeling sick and I get very Jewy.
Right. You're going too fast. I didn't even put my seatbelt on yet.
Right. My foot is like slammed on a brake that doesn't exist in the passenger seat. Yeah, it makes me look bad.
Yeah, you have to like, if you're into the car, you got to feel out your audience.
Right. I just don't like the idea of like being made to feel like if I look like, especially for her, she looks scared, I'm sure.
Yeah, and she's clearly not engaging with the,
It's more about that.
Also, the puddle thing is so fucking lame. I don't know.
Just got to wash. Right? Just got this puppy wash. Just got to, what are they, this is such a cliche movie thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, but it happened, I think guys, some movie has made men think that like women are much more into this than they are.
Right. There's got to be. Yeah, I guess, right, yeah.
And again, it's not like a bad thing, especially if you're not like coming into it all like weird and braggy. But
I do think
I'd rather ride in like a Honda Civic with someone who's just like normal. Then
I'll take the
will drop
Uber
me off
next
on my
time.
side of the street.
Right.
Yes.
There's a lot of puddles. Can we just, do you mind if we? Right. And you can't do, hey, there's a lot of puddles and then
the vet.
Batmobile.
Right. Exactly.
The order of operations here is.
It's not my thing. All right. Red flag or deal breaker. The man you're seeing asks himself aloud to a room of mutual friends whether or not he should go home to get a good night's sleep or go have mediocre sex. The friends didn't know he was talking about me since we'd only been sleeping together for a little bit, but my jaw dropped that he would say that about anyone, let alone someone standing right in front of him surrounded by a group of people. Yikes. It's so weird.
This is wild.
This guy seems like a
total
huge asshole,
dick,
but
yeah.
why? This almost seems like unbelievable.
Right.
Clearly deal breaker.
Yeah, clearly. Just announcing to anyone in a bar before you leave. It doesn't. This is an asshole. Like, this is an asshole. It's not even worth discussing.
I agree.
But if someone was like, hey, everybody, what am I going to do with this night? Go home with the lady?
Taking a poll.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Right. Also cheesy.
Let's do one more.
Okay. You got it?
J&J, love the pod. Here's my quick red flag or deal breaker for you. I matched with a guy on Bumble, and after a few messages back and forth, he mentioned he loved to cook and sent me the attached pictures of food he made. Cream of mushroom chicken broccoli and tortellini meatballs from the slow cooker. As you can see, these are both so disgusting looking. Oh my God. So disgusting looking, I almost think he's messing with me. So red flag or deal breaker, a guy brags about his cooking, but his food looks like throw up. Sincerely, not a not so hungry bitch. Let's see these.
I didn't think they were that bad. They're not like photographing
They're
well, but
absolutely disgusking.
I don't think they were that bad. No.
No, I don't.
mean,
It
I
looks
had
like
the
they're. It's the
lobster biscuit,
dishware.
the United lunch.
Well, you
so.
did. I think it's the dishware.
I think they clearly look like they just are not photographing well.
Jordana, that chicken.
What's wrong with the chicken?
It looks ridiculous.
It's in a sauce.
Also, both of the sauces look the same. That just creamy. I don't know.
I'm not a foodie, I guess, like some people. Not a food snob.
I'm a snob.
I think it's a little weird he sent them. Because like she asked. If she asked, I think, and he sent them, I'd be like, these are... I wouldn't like be bragging about the way these look.
I would also have them not in like... The bowl on the left looks like a condom that he put this into. Like it's crazy.
It's like a plastic container.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It's not like
It's like
not plated in a nice way.
It's watery on the outside. It looks like he just washed it and threw this. I'm out.
Oh, I think it's fine. I think it'd be, especially if I asked to see that, I'm like, oh, what are you making? And then he sent the picture. I think some foods just don't photograph well.
This broccoli, the green of it is weird to me.
It's so green. It looks fresh.
I don't know.
I guess I'm...
It's all mixed together. I mean...
Jorge, what do you think?
All right. Are you eating this shit?
I think the plating is really where this falls short.
It's the plating.
It's the plating, right?
On a nice plate and warm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't...
Lighting.
And
it's
the
not
lighting's
like
fucked
photographed
up.
well. Yeah. But it doesn't look inherently itself like it's a bad meal.
If I was sitting across from someone eating this out of this plate, I would leave the house. I can't even...
Good thing we haven't gone to dinner that much.
Well, we solved dating again. We got to put that on the Instagram.
Yeah,
to show
you're gonna.
people.
We'll
the
put
audience.
the pictures on. I mean, I'm sure they'll agree with you because it doesn't mean. But I still think I would cut this guy some slack.
I'd eat it.
What?
That's not what this is about. It just doesn't. To me, it's also the lighting.
So she sends you these pictures and you're out. You're just not going. You'd still go out.
Depends
with her.
how hot she is.
You'd still, especially if she was like down to be made fun of about
Right.
them.
I would have to make fun of it. I would
Right.
if they couldn't take the. If they were like, what?
And then she was like, no, like it's the lighting. They're great. I
Right.
think that'd
That's
be,
a
like,
different
cute
story.
little whatever.
They have to admit. Do you think this looks right?
Right. It'd be tough to like immediately make fun of someone while you're still on the app talking stage.
Right.
I don't know. I thought it was
Well, I have to go to the bathroom and puke now.
Is this why Mike doesn't like when I cook for him? What?
It's the plating.
It's the
You need
plating.
new
It
plates.
is the plating, yeah.
We solved dating again.
We did it. I'm proud of us. We'll be back on Sunday for your Sunday special. Happy New Year,
Yes.
You Up fans. And I think this is the last socially acceptable episode. We can say Happy New Year.
Right.
Bye.
2023.
The You Up podcast is produced by Sean Kilby, Maddie Paul, and Jorge Morales Pico. Editing by Jorge Morales Pico. Social media by Maddie Paul. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.